well, the penultimate race of the season for Micromax here at Karting Genk, the home of champions. Title, I think, pretty much undecided as of yet, but we'll find out a little bit later on who becomes our 2019 Micromax champion in the BNL karting series. And the grid is as follows. Casper Schormans, one of the title protagonists, is on pole in the number 40 from the Netherlands. Dries van Langendonk from Belgium in the 15 lines up alongside Schormans on the front row. Len Nys in the number 17 and Thomas Strauven in the number 9. That's an all-Belgian row number 2. Max Sadursky from the Netherlands in the number 19 will have Belgium's very own Olivier Jonkers in the 16 alongside. Tommy van der Stroys, who came into this round leading by just 15 points, is 7th on the grid in the 54. Alongside him will be the Belgian known as Karel Stout in the number 3. Matej Radenkovic and Kaz Tobben, respectively from Belgium and the Netherlands, round out the top 10, with Tom van Langendonk and Ollie Wise in the number 56, rounding out the 12 strong. So the first race will be 11 minutes plus an additional lap, and the last race of the weekend and the season will be 13 minutes for the Micromax, Minimax, DD2, DD2 Masters and Junior Max competitors. And the top 28 from the 3 qualifying heats for seniors going into the automatic qualification spots for the top 36 final at the end of the day, and with the second chance heat giving another 8 drivers a chance to join that 36 strong grid. So Schormans, Dries van Langendonk, Len Nys, Thomas Strauven, Max Sadursky, Olivier Jonkers, Tommy van der Stroys, Karel Stout, Matej Radenkovic, Kaz Tobben, Tom van Langendonk and Ollie Wise. That is your grid for the first of 2 races. First up, this one, 11 minutes plus an additional lap in duration, and good control from both Casper Schormans and Dries van Langendonk at the front of the field to start getting the grid into formation very, very early, just before turn 8. So hopefully we'll have them all line astern into turn 9, though I have to keep a measured pace. So we've had one clean start today. Let's see if we can keep that bandwagon rolling here in the wet weather conditions. And as you can see, some drivers use different tactics. Some drivers even have superstitions. Can't even get my words out right. Superstitions before they get in a kart. So let's see what these youngsters can bring in terms of the action here. Brollies are well and truly up. Raincoats on here in the gantries here at Karting Genk. So they're starting to bunch up a bit too much, and there's a bit of bumper barging there. Being told to slow, so they're actually listening and seeing what's going on around them. They've got to be aware of their surroundings, these young drivers. The youngest category in the Rotax Racing family here. And they go into the tram lines. Revs rise on the Rotax Racing engines, and it's a false start that's been called. So, and for those wondering on the screens at home, they're going like this. That's them recognising they've got to go around and do another formation lap. So it's again Control Alt Delete, reset, refocus, and they're still pretty much in formation going through turn 3 as Tom van Langendonk in the 26 puts on the throttle quite literally, and the tail end slides out, drift style there. Now, back in the old days, when racing was very, very different, you know, without the modern technology we have nowadays, they said that sometimes sideways was the best way of going fast. Not necessarily in karting. But we'll see what happens. They're now going to go... Now, this is... You ever see when you see birds flying in formation? That's what we're getting on the back straight right now. So if you're watching at home and you are watching on your laptop, take a screenshot whilst you can, because this is the most organised rolling start lap I have seen, I think, since I started commentating in continental Europe in April of last year at this very circuit. It's brilliant to see these young, aspiring drivers who want to be where the likes of Jenson Button, Robin Freins, Andre Lotterer, Max Verstappen, and a whole host of others. They have that dream to be there one day. You never know. One of these drivers could very well do that. They come now into turn 10. We're going to go around the left-hander at turn 11 before we get to turn 12. And let's see if we can go lights out, good and proper, second time around here. So the red lights ignited on the starting gantry. 11 minutes set on the timer, ready to tick away the moment the red lights go out and we get a clean start. They now head into the tram lines. The revs on the Rotax Max engines roar into life. We go, lights out, clean and plain this time around. Heading down to turns 1 and 2 for the very first time. Shormans takes the initial advantage and Vangelandonk slots in behind. Strauven in third. And we've had a spinner at the back of the field. That's Max Zadursky by my reckoning. As Tommy van der Stroy's trying to make up some places there. He's got past Karel Stout going through turn 4. As the lead is no longer in the hands of Casper Shormans. It is now, looks to be Dries Vangelandonk. But then Shormans retaliates up the inside of turn 6, and the pair are nearly side by side. Shormans is going to have the run going into turn 7. Takes, well, Vangelandonk trying to keep it planted around the outside. That was brave from the youngster, but had to hold off of it as there's been another overtake for, that's Len Nyes up the inside, possibly of Thomas Strauven, and it's nearly 3 abreast as someone's gone very, very slowly indeed and is breaking down. That is Dries Vangelandonk on the inside. Actually parked it on the grass quite safely there. Marshall rushing to assist as Len Nyes trying to go side by side with Thomas Strauven through turn 11. Shormans is trying to get away now. Well, Zadursky wasn't, I think, wasn't the one that span out. No, it's a little bit further down the order. That was the 21 of Kaz Tobin, I believe. So Zadursky now has got the fire in the belly, as has Tommy van der Stroy, who's currently in 6th position at the moment. So that is the completion of lap number 1. Shormans has the lead of just under 0.8 of a second from Strauven, who's having to battle away with Nyes, who nearly got an overtake thrown up the inside of him through turn 2 by Max Zadursky. Olivier Jonkers and Tommy van der Stroy's round out the top 7. Then it's Karel Stout in the number 3 in 7th place. So Dries Vangelandonk, that's a real shame for the youngster from Belgium. That puts his penultimate race of the weekend and the season to a very abrupt wet weather end here. Ollie Wise at the moment now circulating back up in 10th position. So the youngster from the United Kingdom running on the number 56 in the KR Sport awning this weekend, doing his very level best. He was definitely all smiles this morning when he said, yeah, I like the rain. So let's see if he can bring the pace to the rest of the field in front of him. He's got about three carts battling ahead, which will be the likes of Tom Vangelandonk, Mateo Denkovic and Karel Stout. So Wise has got a little bit of work to do. He's got plenty of time, 8 minutes and 30, plus an additional lap left to go. As Shormans continues to lead. 0.8 of a second was his lead last time around. He takes a quick glance over the right shoulder, goes across the start-finish line. Gap looks to be truncated. It's actually gone to 0.85 as Len Nyes has gone slower. And the fastest driver around on track is actually the leader as well. And we've got Max Zadursky trying to battle tooth and nail with Len Nyes and makes the move up the inside of turn 3. Had to do the cutback through turn 2. Zadursky did a great job on the Belgian to take the place there. Now up into P3. So he's got a good chance as Max Zadursky. He's won one race this weekend, this season. So we'll see how he gets on a little bit throughout this race. So Nyes not letting Zadursky out of his sight at the moment. Shorman still leads. Strauven in 2nd. And Van der Stroy's at the minute still sitting in 6th position behind Olivier Jonkers. As Nyes goes back up the inside of Zadursky to retake the position. That's a clean move from the number 17. So he's got some good racecraft. He was also racing with Thomas Strauven back at the International Trophy at Le Mans earlier on this year. If you didn't see that battle, that was an absolute corker. But now Nyes has got a battle with Zadursky yet again, who's got the momentum going down into turns 1 and 2. And Zadursky, unfortunately, not able to capitalise just yet, as we're fast approaching the 6 minutes and 40 now left on the clock, as Zadursky definitely has got the fire stoked in the belly, trying to catch up with Len Nyes or keep pace with him. And in terms of the lap times, Swiderski is just a fraction faster, but it's not enough to get him past. If he was a clear 10th or a 10th and a half, I would understand if he actually slingshotted past at one point. But whilst he's battling with Nice, this is allowing Strauven to get away. And more importantly than that, Kasper Schürmanns is also having to do, as Ollie Wise is really battling away. Looks like Karel Stout is right in the front of his front bumper at the minute. Swiderski still trying to put the feelers out and try and put one past Len Nice for third place. Turn 10 is a really good overtaking opportunity. If anyone saw Danny Van Dijk's attempt in Junior Max yesterday, you will be entertained. That's very much sure. And yes, that is a Russell Crowe line from Gladiator. I do know that, but there's a little bit of a film reference here on the live stream. As Len Nice still fending off Max Swiderski for third place. 5 minutes and 36 on the clock to go, plus an additional lap. Jonkers is being closed in on by Van der Stroys, who goes up the inside into turn 1. The Dutch driver really trying to make it stick. And does he get it done by turn 2? He forces Jonkers cleanly to the outside, makes the move on the exit of turn 2, gets through into turn 3. Jonkers can't respond. That's a great move there. And Ollie Wise now is... This is brilliant. He's up to 9th. Ollie Wise has done an absolute corker. He's got past, looks like Tom van Langendonk, I believe. So Ollie Wise, 2 10th place finishes yesterday. He's now into 9th. And let's just see how far he is away from. I think he's going to be very much, case in point, up close and personal with Karel Stout. Well, looks like Stout has gone a bit further away, or is he up ahead of him? So Schürmanns continues to lead. Now I'm just having a look at the lap times between Schürmanns, Strauven, Nice and Swiderski. And the quickest out of the 4 of them is the leader, as Tommy van der Stroys keeping Olivier Jonkers at bay for what is 5th on the road. Then we got the 99 of Radenkovic. Then we got Ollie Wise. Then we got the 26 of Tom van Langendonk. So let's see what happens now if the order has changed in some way, shape or form, as Max Swiderski right back on the back bumper as Ollie Wise is now up into 8th, as Tommy van der Stroys battling away with Olivier Jonkers. Jonkers tries to go up the inside of the Dutch driver, can't get through. Ollie Wise having a great battle there with Tom van Langendonk, as Van Langendonk now retakes 8th position. So Wise still on the back bumper of the Belgian, but Swiderski not being able to capitalise on getting past Len Nice for third place. And I have a feeling here that if Max Swiderski makes the move on Len Nice, could he be the proverbial cork in the bottle and maybe move forward? But they are closing. They have closed on Thomas Strauven. Strauven did a 1 minute 21.169. Len Nice a 1 minute 21.081. And Max Swiderski was the fastest of that trio. And he's closing. He could get the run on Len Nice very, very shortly indeed. As they go around the final corner, Len Nice will get the slipstream once again on Len Nice. But is he going to capitalise on it going through into turns 1 and 2 this time? Not yet. Maybe another lap as Jonkers gets an absolute brilliant on Tommy van der Stroys, but couldn't make it happen. The Dutchman gets a little bump from behind. It's nearly clash of side pods going through into turn 3. Tommy van der Stroys is holding on for dear life for that position. He can't move any further forward, unfortunately, can the young Dutchman on the number 54. But Strauven now really coming under threat, because it was 0.7 of a second separating him, Len Nice and Max Swiderski in the battle for what is effectively second on the road. So Schürmanns continues to lead as they go through turn 9, followed by Strauven, Len Nice and Max Swiderski, pretty much line astern as they go down the short blast towards the right-hand sweeper at turn number 10. As they're all seeming to take the same sort of line. They probably found that works for them. We've seen some drivers take the inside line and get that better bit of purchase coming through that corner. So 1 minute and 40 plus an additional lap left to go. Could be that Swiderski might get a double toe here from the 2 GKS drivers in front. As well, Len Nyes then goes up the inside of Thomas Strauven, through into turn 2, makes the move stick. Swiderski's trying to fight his way past, and Strauven very defensive, so he's got a bit of a decision here. Do I attack or do I defend? Can he go after Len Nyes, or does he have to defend against Max Swiderski? Tommy van der Stroys has got a bit of distance now between himself and Olivier Jonkers. Then it's Mateo Radenkovic. Ollie Wise is having a great battle still that's ongoing with Tom van Langdonk at the minute. So Ollie Wise looking to get his best finish of the weekend. Currently 9th at the moment is the young Brit. But it is still a stalemate between Nyes, Strauven and Swiderski as they go through turn 7 into the right-hander at turn 8. And Swiderski loses a little bit of ground there, trying to put the power down. Might have put it down a little bit too early. Strauven's trying to put the feelers out on Len Nyes. So we're coming into the last 35 seconds of this race, and Strauven's got a real good run of momentum going into turn 10. Won't capitalise just yet because he's taking the same line as Len Nyes. Gets a better run coming out of turn number 11. And that's a real good run. He got the rear end just hooked up and just bit quite clearly there. As Strauven tried to go up the inside of Nyes again on the final corner, but couldn't get past. So now Nyes able to get keep himself ahead. Strauven's going to go for it right now and retake second and makes the move early. So Len Nyes does the cutback. Strauven goes wide. This could open the door for Max Swiderski. Strauven back up the inside of Len Nyes. Pair of GKS drivers squabbling away. So Swiderski really is in the ringside seat. This is the penultimate lap as Kasper Schaumanns for the penultimate time goes through turn 6 and starts putting the throttle down towards turn 7. Len Nyes nearly up on the inside of Thomas Strauven through turn 6. So, and a little bit further down the order, the running order continues that Tommy van der Stroy still battling away with Olivier Jonkers. As 2nd, 3rd and 4th now make their way through the exit of turn 8. Strauven still leading that thus far and has kept a hold on it at the minute, but it could come down to the final lap. These three could have a drag race to the finish coming out of the final corner on the final lap, let alone what happens now, as you can just see how much these young drivers are wrestling with the steering wheels, trying to keep these karts composed and going as quickly as humanly possible, even with the adverse atmospheric conditions proving to be a detriment in terms of pure lap pace. Tommy van der Stroys has got Olivier Jonkers about a kart length and a half behind as it is now the final lap. Schaumanns now goes through turn 1 and turn 2 for the final time. As Len Nyes up the inside of Thomas Strauven, retakes second. Strauven goes back up the inside of the number 17, Swiderski. I don't know if he's going to do any. He's not going to have a chance. He's got a chance at least third. Now that Strauven has managed to pull away by about 2 kart lengths from Len Nyes on that particular exchange. As Tommy van der Stroys has just lost out, as Olivier Jonkers pulled out a brazen overtake round the outside of the Dutch driver through turn number 3. So, leader now comes through turn 8, and when they say that the leader's doing a good job, you don't really talk about him that much, and that is true with this case personified, thanks to Kasper Schaumanns, who's just run away with it, whilst everyone else has been battling away with each other. So, down the long blast towards the turn right, the turn 10 right-hand sweeper, and Len Nyes has had a bit of a moment there coming out of turn 9, went a bit wide, went onto the grass. So that allowed Max Swiderski to take third on the last lap, but the checkered flag will be prepared. And it's another win this season for the number 40. He started to celebrate early because he's got every opportunity to do it. Kasper Schaumanns in the number 40 takes the penultimate race victory of the season, ahead of Thomas Strauven in the number 9, with Max Swiderski taking third after a bit of drama at turn 9 on the last lap for Len Nyes, who finishes in 4th. Then it's Olivier Jonkers in 5th place ahead of Tommy van der Stroys from the Netherlands. 7th place goes to Mateo Radenkovic. And then it's Tom van Langdonk in 8th place. Ollie Wise gets his best finish of the weekend in 9th, ahead of Karel Stout. And last but by no means least, Kans Tobben. With Dries van Langdonk, unfortunately, not even making it past the first lap on that race. But what an emphatic win. He just celebrated because he went, I've got plenty of time to do so. Took his left hand off the steering wheel. And what a win. What a dominating win for Kasper Schaumanns from the Netherlands. And he won by 4.673 seconds ahead of Thomas Strauven. Max Swiderski takes third. Len Nyes in 4th. Olivier Jonkers in 5th. Tommy van der Stroys in 6th. Mateo Radenkovic in 7th ahead of Tom Vangelangendonk. Ollie Wise from the UK, a good result from the young Brits in 9th place. Carol Stout in 10th, and Kaz Tobin. There's a little bit of a celebratory spin out there, or did he just get caught out by the conditions, did Kasper Schomans? But he's definitely deserved that race victory there as the young man.
Paddock announcement, just to let everybody know that the teams in the paddock, please just double check your electrical cables and connectors. We know that we are supplying power to the relevant warnings. Please can you just make sure that your electrical connectors and cabling are all ship-shape, rest of fashion, all working in correct order. Just please double check them, because we have heard that there have been some issues with the power. We have been providing power throughout the weekend. It's obviously due to the atmospheric weather conditions will be somewhat abrasive to the electrical supply.